doesn't have to be so extreme one way or the other. And I'm an extremist. But one of the things that in my adult life and having a family and learning to kind of be normal a little bit, I've learned that I don't need to be an extremist. And I'm starting to realize that, you know, this good and bad and evil, whatever, there's obviously certain evils and bads, but sometimes perception really skews our thinking, and it can also destroy our optimism. And I can tell you right now, there's so many reasons to be optimistic. And maybe it took me becoming disabled in a way that I had most of what I did to be able to earn money got taken away. But because I'm media literate and I understand what I'm teaching in a way, I was able to use what I had taught myself and learn to still keep going, to make my dreams come true, and to do the things that I love. And I'm grateful for that. And this is for anyone. Automation and AI are displacing routine jobs, but creating new roles that require complex problem solving and creative skills. I can't say it enough. It's a creator's economy. We are all creators. We are all artists. We are all visionaries. But somewhere along the line, I'm sure those of you that attend motivational conferences or whatever, you've heard this before, but someone along the line, someone told you to quit dreaming, quit playing dress up, quit, you know, when you jump on the chair and pretend you're a Superman, or you pretend that you're a pro golfer, someone told you to quit dreaming, or something broke your dream. I'm convinced more than ever. And it's hard not, I won't go and I wish I had hours. Anyway, I'm convinced more than ever those dreams that we were given and when we're pretending when we're a kid, somewhere our purpose and what we were created to do is somewhere in that. It's floating around, it's somewhere, it's grabbable, it's achievable. Like, I know that we all at some point have gotten downloads or heard a whisper of like what it was. And maybe we shoot it away saying, no, I don't have the money to do that. No, I make too much money at this job. I freaking hate this job. I don't get paid enough where I'm at. But you know what? It's all I have. So I don't want to do that. But, and like, my dream is to be an actress. I mean, and yet, and you're offered a part. But to get that part, you have to do something that compromises your values. Maybe you dealt with racism or discrimination, and there's lots of ways that people get discriminated against. But what I want to say to you, because this is a creator's economy, and you're one of those people that created, or you like to create, or you like to perform, you're an artist, but you had your soul crushed because someone hurt you or took advantage of you or put you in a bad situation. That does not mean that you're not a creative. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be an artist. It doesn't mean you're not supposed to be an actress. No, dadgummit, because the fourth industrial revolution is set up for you to do it on your own. Yes, community building is a big part of this, but we're building a community of people who think and believe like us, not in a way that is the way it's done on social media, where it's pitting us against each other. But these economies, these ecosystems are set up. They're not letting a bunch of the same people in. If you're somebody that is a great editor, and that's your gift, guess what? They're not bringing another editor into that system. Time, talent, treasure. They don't need a bunch of people sitting around and doing something. They need everybody moving forward for the common goal, the common purpose. And there's which you will realize when you step out into this journey of the fourth industrial revolution, by you sharing your truth, by you sharing what your intellectual property is, by you living in your gifts and your talents and you showcasing it, that your ecosystem will find you. And they will pull you in and say, we need someone like you. How do you want to be a part of this? And they will do it with, yeah, you can be an investor. But really what they're looking for is your skill. They're looking for your talent, and they want to showcase it in whatever form of media is required that you feel good about. It's all there. It's awesome. We're creators. I'm so excited for teachers and plumbers and people that do all the hard stuff, that know how to resurface car, like to transform cars and repair stuff. Like I love the people that like the town of Northfield where I'm so blessed to live. I love it because everyone repurposes everything. Like no one throws anything away except for the things that absolutely need to be thrown away. But there's just so much creative there. And like these skills and these how-tos are important. And instead of going online and sharing your opinions, share your wisdom and your talent and your gift. And that is that's a creative thing in the way that you get to showcase it. But I personally, and I'll get into this later, I don't recommend you do that on social media. I recommend you do it on your own platform that you own, and we'll get into that more later. Essential skills. Skills like critical thinking, creativity, and adaptability are crucial in this new landscape as they are less susceptible to automation. In other words, chat prompt. Like I can engineer prompt anything I want into AI and it'll create. So, I mean, you can create an automatic system. So, but the more creative you are in putting things together and combining, you're going to see social media, TV and film and podcasts all merge into one thing. Everything's merging into together and it's just becoming like one giant mush of I don't even know what to call it. Anyway, lifelong learning and adaptability. I brought this up before. Embrace continuous learning to stay relevant in the rapidly changing job market. Being proactive. Instead of reading the newspaper, because it's all, no offense to newspaper people, but you don't need to know any of that. Because right now is the time to be learning these new skills that you're going to need. I mean, I don't know how informed you get, but the time that you would spend reading a newspaper or a news article or scrolling on social media, honestly, dedicate some time to learning how to engineer prompt, for instance, or just learning new skills. I'm for all the horrible things that are said about Google and some of the other large companies, the truth is they also offer a lot of free education and learning opportunities. SCORE offers amazing learning opportunities. But this is part of the job description now is learning and teaching, learning and creating in new ways, finding new ways to express yourself. It gets to be a joy. And here's the thing, the jobs that most people are hanging on to are not going to be there. And you weren't created, if you're someone that believes that you were created for a purpose, you can't believe that your purpose is your job. The job that you got trained for and all that. Those things are going away. And part of being in a creator's economy is essentially that we all get to have this opportunity to live in our gifts and operating in our gifts, talents, and intellectual property. And, other people can just sit back and take universal income. I mean, that's an option because that's coming. I don't want that because that's not freedom. That's being controlled. So the fears that people have about what's coming with smart cities, the Internet of Things, well, you can partner with AI or you can let AI rule over you. Those are the two options, in my opinion. McKinsey Global Institute report on the future of work and the World Economic Forum's reports on jobs and skills. Take a picture of this, screenshot it. Is this? Okay, it's the same slide. Sorry, it looked different on my end. These are worth reading because again, some of the stuff I'm saying may sound absolutely insane, but I didn't make it up. I mean, I remember watching The Terminator when I was a kid, and I felt like it was real. I thought it was really going to happen. I remember watching The Lawnmower Man, and I'm like, this is going to happen. And just certain movies and then dreams that I've had, I'm like, wow, but I didn't think I'd be alive to see these things. And, and I will get into some more of this, the back history and all that as we go, but there's just so much. Anyway, the impacts of the fourth industrial revolution. The digital age brings challenges like data breaches, ethical AI use, and algorithmic bias. We must address these issues to ensure the ethical technology use and protect privacy, to ensure ethical technology use and protect privacy. In the EU yesterday, the European Union, they announced that they were going to, they've got some things in place. Even the AI companies are saying that they're putting protective measures in place. You can say that they're lying, and the thing is that I don't have much of a history of ever hearing anything from a politician or world leader. Too much of it, you know. Well, I'm trying not to be that, say I'll get that, go down that direction. Anyway, there's some issues, but the way I look at it is this. None of your stuff has been secret anyway. Like nothing you've ever done online is a secret. And so get prepared for your secrets that you don't know that you don't have to become, you know, that you don't have those secrets. Because all that's been hidden will be revealed, yes, but the new cities, the new worlds that we're going into, there is going to be full transparency. Remember, truth attracts your tribe. So there's layers to all of this. It intersects. It ties into, yes, some spiritual stuff. It ties into, you know, the things that people have been warned about, and there's been things that have been disillusioned about. There's a lot of interconnecting parts all coming together at the same time for a giant disruption of everything we've ever known. Everything will be done differently. Everything. And so, yeah, there are reasons to be concerned, but what I try to tell everybody, and I've been trying to tell people for years that would listen, get comfortable with the truth. I mean, I'm thankful I wrote my book, my first book, The Devil Inside Me, because that's why without that, I don't think I would have ever been comfortable with the truth, because I've got one of those truths in my past that, you know, I don't necessarily want to go celebrate. I'm celebrating what God's done in my life, not to make this religion, but I'm grateful for that. But I also never fear. I remember, I don't know if anyone else has ever gone through this before, but where you've sabotaged your own success because you were worried about getting found out. It's a horrible thing to shoot yourself in the foot because you're worried about people finding out who you really are. But guess what? The new world, everyone's going to know who you are. I mean, that you encounter, because there's going to be no secrets. Just be prepared for that. Inequality in the future of work. Technological advancements can widen socioeconomic gaps. We need collaborative efforts from governments, businesses, educational institutions, and civil society to create positive outcomes for all. I'm going to go off script here. The power right now, whatever your opinion about this is or not, it's a proven fact. Right now, a handful of people control everything that you read, see, and hear in the media. A handful of people. It's fact. Think about that. Like a handful of organizations, people. Your information that you get, every bit of it is curated for you to think and believe the way they want you to. There's a reason why one of the greatest benefits of having dissociative identity disorder is that I'm really good at taking notes. And so when I hear something, it was like a signal to make a note, because not knowing where I'm at all the time is an issue. And there's complications with DID. But I used to keep notes, and I would train, you know, the other characters to do the same thing. So I would never lose track when I would have an episode or I would switch. Sorry. The news will tell you one thing one week as a fact. This is how it is. And then literally the next week tell you something completely different. The same host, the same channel. And then when people get confronted with what they say, they gaslight the crap out of them. They yell over them. Oh, I never said that. This is happening in real time today. CNN hosts are now going on other platforms and they're being called out for the things that they said over the last 4 years because now they've been proven to be bullcrap. But at the same time, the other side of it is there's no sides of this. They control this. They want us at war. They want us to hate each other. They want us to discriminate each other. They want us to have a civil war. This is not an opinion. It's not an opinion. So the whole part of the reason, other than the opportunity that this information, this knowledge that media literacy will give you, the main reason behind it is not just to elevate the voiceless's voice. It's to change the narrative. When you know media, when you have the media, when you own the media, you control the narrative of what you want people to think. But if other people step into their role of independent media, not to share their opinions, but to share the things that they can absolutely prove. Absolute truth is different. Did I scare you? I'm just kidding. I love you. Are you leaving?
No, I'm.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to call you out. That's my mother-in-law. Anyway, I forgot where I was at. Now I'm getting fired up. Anyway, not opinion truth, but absolute truth. And what is absolute truth? Well, maybe when you hear something inside your spirit, you're like, I don't know about that. You really want me to do that? Okay. And you go and you do it. And then you get proven right of like why you did it. Your own experiences, and yes, perception plays a role in that, but you know what? Sharing your perceptions of what it's like to try to heal from being abused. Talking about that. There's power in that, and there's freedom in that. So little by little, not only can independent media not just set yourself free and give yourself opportunities, but it also has the power to heal communities. And we can't heal the world. And that is a goal of mine, for people to heal. And I believe that we have to be broken in half for that to happen, broken in half with truth. But I believe that we can heal communities with this, because there's so many people that just want to be heard. And I can only speak for myself here on this, except that I've been able to talk to a lot of other people about it. Not feeling like you don't have a voice or feeling like you're alone is a really, really bad feeling. It's an awful feeling. There's people that can be in a crowd of people that they know and feel alone. And maybe they feel alone because they're afraid to let people know who they really are. 98% of the truth is not the truth. In media, when you build and you step into media, you have this opportunity to use your truth to not only help and to grow, but you have an opportunity to heal. You even have an opportunity to be your own therapist. I mean, for some people choose to do that. I did. It worked great. It helped me get comfortable with it. And but at the same time, it gave me a voice and an outlet. But for so long, I remember what it was like to not have a voice. And this is an opportunity for us all to have a voice. And again, if we use this opportunity and we use our platforms that we build, not just to have endless amounts of revenue streams that are centered around the things that we love to do, but as an opportunity to also heal ourselves and others and bring people together. And it inspires me to see more and more people doing that. Okay. Redefining our idea. This is the lovely woman who created this PowerPoint for me. Makes me look better than I am. Digital technologies are transforming how we perceive ourselves and our societal roles. Social media, virtual reality, and other technologies impact personal identity, relationships, and community engagement. For more information, explore the World Economic Forum on ethics and technology. This is a really You can still find it. It's still online. It's a really thorough read, and for whatever people's opinions are on the World Economic Forum, it's amazing how many people have opinions about the World Economic Forum that have never actually read the book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, or even The Great Reset. I'm amazed how many people didn't read it when all the craziness was going on, because it literally told you everyone the future that we were heading into. In fact, it gave, if you read it, it didn't like go word for word the blueprint. But I used what they provided in their research to educate myself and to learn how to build these systems that allow people to take advantage of this opportunity. So again, I don't know all the facts on the World Economic Forum and the UN. I know a lot of people hate them and a lot of people have opinions. And all I can say is they gave everyone the blueprint of how to succeed in the future. So I can't be too mad at them. So did my cat dance? Oh, it didn't work. I wanted my cat to work. It did? Oh, I missed it. I was all excited about the cat. It's not our cats, though. I don't think our cats would do that. Okay, so participation time. Think about a personal experience where technology convergence impacted your life. How did it change things for you and those around you? Does anyone have anything to say on this that's in here, or even online? This is probably a long question to answer. Well,
we're all shy, Josh.
That's all right. I talk to myself a lot anyway. I'm used to it. Let's see. The fourth industrial revolution is the fusion of physical, digital, biological technologies. Key technologies driving this revolution are AI, robotics, the Internet of Things, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, and renewable energy. Klaus Schwab, here he is, World Economic Forum. His book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, emphasizes creating an inclusive, human-centered future where technology serves humanity. Collaboration across sectors is essential to ensure technological advancements that they'll benefit everyone. Okay, so human-centered future. I'm sure those of you who are familiar with the World Economic Forum and NOAA specifically, who use the words, he said that humans would become useless eaters. That's the sound clip that most people heard. The truth is that it's true. It's true. For the people that do not take advantage of this time, when I say this time, I'm talking a year ago. I'm talking yesterday. I'm talking today. Like, you got to start learning these skills because people aren't ready. And they're important, but what's going to happen is it's like as a switch is going to go off and everything is going to be different. And those who took the time to prepare, and there's levels to being prepared. I mean, there's people that I attended an event out of Switzerland in a different metaverse last week. And I mean, my head was going to explode because it was so far advanced than what I had seen before. And I was already like my virtual worlds are advanced. This made my virtual, it was like Nintendo and PlayStation 16. There was the difference. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do with this? I lost.
Carl Schwab.
Oh, thank you. Useless eaters. Yeah, that it hurts. It hurt my feelings to hear it because I only listened to the clip. It's kind of amazing too, the game of telephone that we played when we were kids that everyone failed at. And now we live in this YouTube short society where we only have the attention span to watch 30-second videos. So we hear this, the middle part of the words or the ending words, but we never get the full context unless we go watch the whole thing. So when you hear you're going to be a useless eater, I would be pissed off too. But really what he's saying is you're going to be left behind and there's going to be no jobs for you. So your only option will be to take universal income. And those people will be looked at as useless eaters because why? They contribute nothing to society. that is the way that they see it, from a productivity, from a work environment to stimulating the economy. The people that take universal income provide no value to the world, is how it's seen. That can be offensive to some people. If you're useless, if you're worthless and don't want to change and you don't want to evolve and you don't want to learn and you don't want to grow. And by the way, you are never too old to learn. You're never too disabled to learn. No, there's always a way. And the new technologies, including AI and the new technologies and the systems that are designed for people with sensory issues or that are mentally ill or have ASD, it's helping them. So there's so much opportunity for people to go seize, and it looks like doing what you love. So do what you love or be a useless eater. I'm going to do what I love, because you know what? I don't believe in, sorry to use the word God again, but I'm going to use the word God to say we were created for a reason. We weren't created to be useless eaters. We weren't created to sit back, do nothing, take a check, go get food, play video games all day unless you're being paid for it, which, God bless those people, because that would have been a sweet gig. Except for all the energy drinks that you would have to drink. That's really rot your stomach, but that's another conversation. So anyway, and look, Klaus Schwab, he does look like Darth Vader. He absolutely does. And some of the stuff he says is scary, but if you're prepared for it, it's not so scary. It's actually kind of awesome. And no, I didn't join the Illuminati anytime soon or anytime recently or in the past. And I'm not singing the praises. In fact, I don't know who's praiseworthy anymore. I'm not going to celebrate anyone anymore unless if I am with them in the moment, watching them do something worth celebrating. I'm done with having heroes on social media. One of the things that I learned, and boy, I'm sorry, I don't really know how to just talk about business, because why I'm doing this is personal. This is why I make a lousy business coach, but I can teach you anything you want to know about Fourth Industrial Revolution. But I'm going to move on. Sorry. I get so. If there's any questions, would someone yell them out for me, please? I don't know if anyone's ever used any of the smart devices yet, like with your apps and your phone or controlling your home. I mean, if you've been using that, or you have one of the Amazon talk boxes, I forget what they're called. Alexa, how concerned can you be about privacy anyway? Siri is listening to you all the time. That home device is listening to you do all your stuff. And and now all of a sudden we're worried about surveillance everywhere. We've been being surveilled for years. No, that hasn't changed. It's just now they're telling you about it. Gosh, I wish there's so many deep dives I just want to take on some of this stuff, because it's so interesting, like how this all came together. To me anyway. I'm a nerd about this stuff. Smart homes, wearable health monitors. By the way, this health monitor, the tremors cause my blood pressure to spike, and therefore I'm at risk of having a stroke and a heart attack. That's why I can't get too worked up, which is hard because I love the subject so much. But I wear this to monitor it, and this is such a basic device now. There's so many better devices and so many better technologies than even this that can examine every aspect of our health. Our oxygen levels, they can even they can look at our blood, which is kind of terrifying. But at the same time, if I'm about to die or I'm about to have a heart attack, if I have an early warning, what a blessing that is. Because I don't want to die. I'm not afraid to die at all, but I don't want to, because there's so much that I want to live for. And so these technologies are game changers. Telemedicine is a game changer for people. And that's just a basic, that's like a Zoom call, basically. But these advancements and where we're going, augmented reality is going to allow us to take even deeper dives into health. Like I know the whole notion of living together can get into living forever can get into a really odd conversation for some people, but it's looking like this could be, I mean, we're getting like it could happen. And like it's almost seeming, I don't know if practical is the right word, but it sure seems possible. Philip Hughes smart lighting systems enhance home convenience and energy efficiency. Dexcom and Eversense wearable health monitors improve health management for diabetics. Diabetes is rough. I heard there's a new diabetes 3. I don't know anything about that, but again, like we have some new diseases and other things popping up, and we need advancements. And this is another benefit to AI is that it can search and find information and help find solutions so much better than what we could do on our own. While these technologies offer increased convenience, improved health monitoring, they also pose security, privacy, and interoperability challenges. Ooh, I got that out. Understanding these issues helps us appreciate innovations and address critical concerns. Okay. How am I doing on time? How many slides do I have left? Do you know?
I think you're nearing the mid end.
Oh. Okay. Global technology spending is skyrocketing with significant increases in IT, IoT devices, and AI. This is not the full penny analogy, but imagine doubling a penny every day for 30 days. You'd end up with over $5 million. Not in 30 days. What is the actual math in that? There's a whole thing there. I missed it. Forgive me. Sorry. Like I said, I changed this yesterday because there were so many new things. Staying informed and adaptable is crucial in this fast-paced environment. Adaptable is key. And one of the things I want to say too, and I'm getting to this, I guess I'm dropping a teaser if there's such thing. The adaptable, one of the benefits too is once you build your platform, and most of you have a website now that could be turned into your own media platform. And again, the strategy, the reasons why, the ownership, the monetization, that's all coming in the next course. Like that's the juicy, fun stuff. This is the foundational pieces that the reason why all this is happening. But adaptable is key. But it also gets to be fun because you're never too old to learn. In fact, I think when a lot of people retire, that's when you retire to die. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to retired people, but unless if, they're out living their life. I know some people that retire and they sit around and do nothing. Now, other people like my mother-in-law, well, she's a goer. She's like to art shows and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's amazing. And like, that's a good thing, but she's adapting, she's learning, she's taking on new skills, and it's keeping her brain fresh. And so a good way to look at this is not like you have to go learn a new physical activity, even though AI wearable technology for fitness and health can keep you young because older people could use it in a safe way and still get effective workouts. But learning new skills will be easier than ever. And being able to find new ways to express yourself. I mean, I think about how effective I am when I'm depressed or I'm upset or I'm down on myself or I'm frustrated. I suck at life, suck at everything. I don't want to do anything. I think I'm dumb. I think I'm not going to be able to accomplish anything. It's just really awful to myself just by being a little bit off. Yeah.
It is right. It's over 5 million because you double and then double it. Yeah.
For 30 days?
Yeah.
Really?
I just doubled.
Okay, so not only do I not know how to do PowerPoints, ladies and gentlemen, or however you identify, I also suck at math really bad. And that's another reason I like AI. Anyway, okay, so continuous learning helps individuals and businesses keep up with technological advancements. And check out Gartner's IT spending forecast and Statista's Internet of Things statistics for more details. Lots of great information out there. So many great information. Weirdly, though, most of it comes from overseas. Even when you search the term media literacy, most of the people that search that term are in India and Africa. Adapting to these changes is essential. Embrace lifelong learning, skill and development to stay competitive in disruptive industries. There's a Harvard Business Review that's good too. I highly recommend that article. Industries like travel, print media, and manufacturing are experiencing significant disruption due to new technologies. The public education system is going to experience some disruptions too, unless if they adapt to this. For an example, AI, automation, the Internet of Things, and digital platforms are transforming traditional business models and creating new opportunities. So I keep wanting to get into the media company in a box stuff because, again, it's so exciting, especially talking about platforms. But it makes no sense for creatives and creators and people that are running a business to have a Facebook profile, a YouTube profile, LinkedIn profile, Twitter profile, a Pinterest profile. You don't own any of those platforms. And do you think that you're going to own your intellectual property there? Like, do you think, like, why, like some of these well thought out, beautiful posts that people make, and they create all these amazing images and they go post it on social media for the likes and the comments, not understanding that that is not going to help them the way that they're desiring to, because they're playing a short game. They're playing the dopamine hit. They're playing the quick fix, because that well thought out post you write just as easily could have become a video that would make you money, could become a documentary, could become a book, could become a newsletter. But we're just posting because that, and I'm not judging anyone because I was the worst about it. I was an addict. I'm so happy to be off social media because I'm tired of giving away the things of value that I create for nothing. Why would someone waste a beautiful download or a vision they get for a courtesy post and a courtesy like? Anyway, we'll get into more of that. But these platforms, by the way, don't need to scare you. The one thing I will hint to you about these platforms is it's a pain in the butt at first to build the platform because you've never built one before. So the most tedious, long part of the process is building your platform. But my book teaches you how to do it, and anyone who has attended this class can work with me through SCORE or me independently. Either way, this is what I do. It's what I teach. But these platforms are a game changer because it will do so much of the work for you and allow you to go out and live your life and be the business. So as opposed to sitting on social media all day long, I'm sitting here, I'm scrolling, I'm looking for people to connect with, I'm looking for people to like. Hey, you wanna join my ClickFunnels? Or, well, I don't know all the stuff that people say. I forgot all the examples I wanted to use, but like people sit on social media all day, on the toilet, when their kids are playing, at church. I see you people. You're on your phone. You're there on social media hanging out because you think you need to be there, because if you're not there, you're going to miss out on an opportunity. The truth is, the other thing I love about the fourth industrial revolution is not only is all the digital advancements and the community building opportunities, it's also going to reestablish real life communities, real life connection, working with people, and so on. So, in other words, just like I'm here today, maybe I've scared the crap out of some people. Maybe I have met some people. Maybe some people want to collaborate now. But I'm here being my business. I am my business. I don't need a building. Everywhere I go, I'm in business. Now, mind you, my business is a little bit different because I'm more passionate about serving and teaching than anything else, maybe to my own detriment, but this is what I love to do. I get to do some amazing things. And like I like to swing for the fences kind of guy, but in my heart is to serve. And in these platforms has allowed me to do this. So the platform itself is not about how many people you get there. And it's great to have lots of people there. But just like with this course, I'm here for the one. I don't need millions of people to listen to me, even though it would be great because it's important, this information. And I'm not the only one saying it. There's people far more powerful than me that have been telling people for years this stuff. But my brain keeps falling off.
You're doing great.
Thanks. Do you have to say that because you're driving me home?
No, no, I don't, but I will.
Okay. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram have transformed media production and consumption, empowering individuals to become content creators and challenging traditional media companies. I've been kicked off all those platforms. And that ties into, again, look, censorship is going to come hit everyone on the face. It's not just what for people that want to fight for the right to speak on what they believe in, but it's going to come after religious institutions. It already is. It's going to come after people that even talk about sex abuse. I mean, that's a thing. You get censored for talking about these subjects. I know you can't talk about organ harvesting or some of the other forms of slavery that happen around the world without getting deplatformed. I know because I've been there and I was trying to do the right thing. You can't talk about the shadow prisons that are like, there's 2 in Minnesota, MSOP, and they're all over the country. You can't talk about what happens there in these facilities without YouTube and some of these bigger platforms shutting you down. You got to be careful how you talk about it. So there's all kinds of new platforms and other platforms that give you more freedom. But one of the themes of where we're going with this course is that I'm going to teach you how to own your likeness, own your imaging, own your content, own your brand, own it all. And it's going to matter way more than you know. And not to get real preachy, but for for artists, for entertainers, for people that have been in the music industry, people that have been in the music industry, that you understand about record contracts and how that works. Well, I'm letting you all know, or for those of you who've heard the horror stories of the record industry and what it does to people and the slave system, I recommend a documentary by Speech from Arrested Development, the band, those of you who know that is. He did a documentary called In Factory that talks about the slave system in the music industry. Speech is a wonderful human being. He really is a good dude. I've gotten to know him and it's just neat. But the point of where I'm going with this is social media is the new slave system because everyone in the 4th Industrial Revolution will be creating content because every business will have to be a media first organization or you will not survive. You cannot operate, you cannot function as a business without being a media organization in the 4th Industrial Revolution, period. And it's practical. You need the revenue streams. You need the additional revenue streams. Everyone will. It's totally changing. But it's not bad. You just got to be ready for it. Okay, moving on. Share your experiences with changes. Oh, audience, here we go. I hope the audience wants to say something here. Share your experiences with changes in media consumption. Let's discuss the benefits and drawbacks of these transformations from both consumer and content creator perspectives. Actually, what?
Well,
Sorry.
I was gonna say, it seems as though, and I could be wrong, that YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, those platforms taught people how to use their voices. but they own their content, so they haven't given them actual freedom. So this, what you're teaching gives back the actual freedom of speech.
Yes. It's just not just the freedom. Look, so one of the things is I'm not like a great actor. I've been able to do some acting, been in some movies and commercials, but I'm not great at it. But one of the things about it that is challenging is that, you know, you read someone else's words the way they want you to read them. It's tough. It's not as easy as people think. Now, of course, like some of the more famous actors just play the same character in every movie. So that's not really acting, but the method actors, the people that really show up different, that is tough to do. To read with the tone, the dialect. I have so much respect for people that actually take the acting training and do it right. So what I'm getting at is with this. YouTube has trained everyone to say, hit like and subscribe if you like my content, blah, blah, blah. Like it's the same thing over and over. So the content is interrupted with people saying, please like and share my stuff. And I know it matters because it helps them with the algorithms, get seen by more people. But frankly, that I don't enjoy hearing that. I don't want to have to say certain things at the very beginning of an episode or the middle or the end for my video to be seen. I would rather just create the way I feel led. Like TikTok is like, I don't know how anyone with ASD goes on that freaking platform because it's like doing a shot of speed in your eyeballs. It's just like sensory overload. Blah, and the music's playing really loud. It just hits you in the face. And then, you know, it's boom, 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 immersive media, like a call to action things popping up all over the place, and it's sloppy. And some of the live chat apps that people go onto, and it's like a slot machine, but in a video chat room, and it's just nuts. It's overstimulating, and everything's overproduced. TV did it. If you watch America's Got Talent, it's the most overproduced. I know, I'm not trying to, if people love the show, God bless you. It's entertaining, sure. Way better with the sound off, in my opinion. It's so overproduced. It's so overproduced. I think because of all the technology, it's like getting something at Christmas. You just want to play with all the toys. But I think what's going to happen is like with everything else, when the pendulum goes one way, it's going to swing back the other, and then it's going to settle. And so what's going to happen? I really believe all of this new technology is going to give us a sense of normalcy, but it's going to happen because of independent media, because artists are going to create the way artists create, and that's the way they feel led. Sure, you want to commission something for someone, great, that's a skill, but some people want to express themselves through their own art. And frankly, if you feel like you're not an artist, the best way to learn how to be an artist is just to create for yourself. And it may be ugly and messy, but if you have something to say that's burning in your heart, don't sweat humble beginnings. Because frankly, the real fancy high-end videos don't really do as well as the people that, oh, that's the microphone, oops, that hold up the camera and just talk to it. Real life, that is just effective. And I think as a society, as a world, we want real. And the other benefit of all this technology, I think it's going to drive people out of the house. Oh, wait a second. You mean it's not going to take me 4 hours to put this presentation together? I can do it in 5 minutes? Are you freaking kidding? So that means we can go walk the dog, go to the park and have some ice cream down in Northfield? Yep. More family time? Really? We're going to have date night? I'm not going to be sitting here editing all night? Are you freaking kidding me? This is amazing. So it's going to bring people outside again to have life and community because you're not going to be stressed. Now, you can get addicted to the creating process. That's your own issue. Because we all have a choice. I'm one of those people that don't believe in having one glass of wine. Like if you're going to have wine, have wine. I don't see what the point of one does. So I just choose not to have wine because I don't see the point in one. So I'm going to do it for the effect if I do it. And so the point is this, like I know my limits. This is going to take, there's going to be a lot more personal responsibility for your own actions. One, because you're going to be held accountable in a whole different way. That's real life. But also like how much you work, things like that. Like you can set up systems that allow you to go out and live your life and have the time to learn new skills. It's kind of exciting. Does anyone have anything to share, like how experiences with changes in media consumption? Anyone? Yeah.
Well, I will talk about that I'm using the new media to develop educational experiences for students that have disabilities, that have unique ways of processing
Mhm.
thought and sensory. And the amount of time that it takes for a student to learn a concept in immersive media and VR is significantly less than the amount of time that they spend in school for an entire day. So it's giving a child back their childhood in a sense. And I can't see anything better than that to be able to give your kid is their livelihood as a child, their youth.
I agree. And I know that there's a discussion at some point about safety with children in VR. And we'll take a deep dive into that. But yeah, what you're doing with education and VR, it's transformative. And, VR also is another benefit is that, for people that just have a hard time being around people. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm glad this room is not packed today. I couldn't handle your voices. Just her voice is a hard for me to hear. I mean, she's my favorite person in the world, but I mean, voices hurt, right? And so these new spaces in VR, like if I'm having trouble hearing because of what it's doing to me, I can go put a headset on or the glasses or whatever. I can immerse myself in the technology and explore in a world of brown noise if I wanted, and still find ways to learn. And I learn better when I can manipulate with my hands and touch and feel and break it and like, oh crap, I got to find a way to fix it because I break everything. I'm like, I try to walk a straight line and then I end up hitting the wall somehow. It's just, could because my head moves all over the place. But, but I mean, there's so many benefits to this. And so I think about what it was like to feel like I was so stupid as a kid and felt dumb. And, and I didn't know that dyslexia could be a gift. I didn't know that, I didn't know. I just, because it was a struggle in the way that it's like a one size fits all teaching approach is how it was with me. And I don't know how it's different, but based on what I hear from kids, I don't think much has changed. Certain school systems are doing better, but for people that learn differently, AI in VR is going to be very, very special. In fact, China, again, people have their opinions, but what they're doing with education and AI is so inspiring because it's really leveling the playing field, and they're changing. Instead of teaching what we think kids should learn, they're working individually with AI on what that child should be learning. In other words, what the child wants to learn. Because I said this at the very beginning, I believe when we're born, even though we don't really understand it or know it, we're being hinted at of what we're called to do, what we were created for. And they're tapping into that. And based on what I'm seeing and reading about, I mean, I can't, it's hard for me not to be inspired and wish that our kids had it also. I'm going to talk about following your dreams a lot. Can't help it because now's the time to do it. Serving niche interest. Technological advancements have enabled the creation and distribution of niche content, connecting audiences with specific interest through personalized content feeds. So I actually teach a multi-niche approach, but that's why the platform matters. But right now, the way the algorithms work is it serves niche. Anyone that ever talks about content marketing, if you've ever learned about it, they always talk about find your niche. Basically find that needle in a haystack version of yourself so you can get discovered by search engines. That's the game. Find the absolute, way, the smallest way in if you can. That's what it is. And then what you do is you hammer the crap out of the content on that thing, whatever it is, and that's how you get found. You'll ever notice the popular accounts on social media talk about the same stupid crap every single day. It's so annoying. It's awful. And all it does is it creates hive minds and echo chambers of people just just all going to listen to each other talk about the same stuff. No one's open for a different opinion or different ideology. And so again, some of the changes that are going to happen is the new SEO is not niche based at all. And it's a 3-hour presentation. It's a lot. But essentially, remember when I told you that we have been training AI the whole time, whether we realized it or not, we're still training AI? Well, guess what? They need new content. They need more original thought, more original ideas, and that's what's going to be rewarded. In fact, one of the other changes too, Google is now featuring Reddit articles in Reddit, like sub communities. When you search a subject on their search engine, Reddit is getting preferential treatment. So that you want to go create a Reddit account that it could benefit you. But at the same time, what that really means is that you should be sharing links from your own platform onto Reddit, onto social media, instead of posting your original content on those platforms that you don't own, but you can share what you own on those platforms. It's a big change because it's going to allow you to be discovered. It's going to allow you to build your communities much easier, especially when you start creating different kinds of content. I believe in freedoms for all, as long as you are not hurting anybody. You hurt people, well, I have problems with that. I don't care. I'm one of those people that also that I may not agree or align with what someone believes or says, but I also believe in the right to say it and believe it. So I don't always agree with the people I support. But frankly, so much of what I've believed and been told to believe over the history of my life, I've realized over the last few years has been pretty much bullcrap. Like I thought, of course, I was pretty bothered by the fact that I could walk outside with wet hair and not catch a cold. Like when I found that out, I was really bothered. And then, of course, more real life, more impactful disruptions of truth happened over the last few years. But I believe everyone should have a voice. And at the same time, for the criticism that people have for certain communities being celebrated, or they're fighting for the right to be heard, people just want to be heard, and they're going to run to whoever is going to listen and is going to welcome them sometimes. And unless if you've walked in someone's shoes, I would think it would be really hard to judge someone's situation because each situation's unique. And if you haven't walked in those shoes, you would have no idea why they've ended up the way they've ended up. And I say this as somebody that, again, that has a very different kind of mental uniqueness, as I prefer to call it. But it's made me an outcast for most of my life, and it's made relationships very difficult and challenging, and I'm very challenging and difficult. I'm working on it. But I can't tell you how suicidal that made me in the past when I felt alone and I felt like I was the only one. And I'm talking about suicide and other issues because, well, this is why I'm providing this information. It's because everyone deserves the right to be heard, to have a voice. No one should ever suffer in silence, whether it's racism or discrimination or homophobia or religious abuse, whatever. no one should suffer in silence, and everyone should know that they have a safe place to go. And one of the powers of independent media and the tools that the fourth industrial revolution offers is allowing people to be heard. Niche content promotes representation and community, but can also create echo chambers and face monetization challenges. The echo chambers come from social media, period. They come from social media. If you go independent, I'm telling you, you'll break out of the echo chamber and you're going to start to find your tribe. And again, it's not about the masses, it's about the one. Because really, I mean, you can impact people with a message, but to actually change someone's life, you kind of got to work with them a little bit. This is going to create relationships. Independent media is going to encourage relationships again, instead of these superficial relationships or, oh, like I only like you because we agree. And that's a lot of what social media is. Oh yeah, amen, brother, you said it. Like what, I mean, and then the next thing that you post and then they disagree with it. And like, wait a second, I thought you were my homie and now you hate my guts. Like what happened? That happened a lot over the last few years. But wait a second, you voted for him? Ugh. Anyway. It drives inclusion by amplifying diverse voices and encouraging broader societal understanding. For more on the power of niche content, check out articles on Forbes and Medium. There's a ton of stuff out there about this information. But again, we're going to talk about multi-niche a lot because you're not a niche. You, as a human being, are not a niche. God didn't create you to be a niche. You have a lot of things that are very special about you. And unfortunately, the way the system and the algorithms were set up before was basically to go, this is who you are. So imagine how upsetting it is when you find out one of your heroes has a hobby that you may not like too much. But on social media, you only saw that thing that they were showing you over and over and over and over and over again to wire your brain to believe that this is who they are. And then because they're this political party or the other, then that this is how they believe in everything. But you've only been shown the niche. And the only reason why you were shown the niche is because that's where the money has been. The money is in multi-niche now, and it's changing, and you will be rewarded for showing more of who you are because one way or another, it's going to come out anyway. So you might as well be on top of it. It's kind of like telling the truth. Like when you've been living a lie and then someone has your secret and they've got it on you and they go and they threaten you. Well, it gets scary when someone knows your secret and they're threatening to expose you. But if you're willing to tell the truth yourself, you've removed their bullets, because what are they going to say then? Changes everything. So it's so much easier just to get out, tell the truth, show who you are, reveal your identity, because in your identity is really where your future economy is. Traditional media giants are facing competition from independent media creators who leverage digital platforms to reach audiences directly. Digital tools and social media democratize content creation, allowing smaller players to compete. Independent media is different than alternative media because alternative media is still part of traditional media. It's just that they were the brats that kind of got pushed out to the side. I personally believe that, and I'll keep my beliefs to myself, but alternative media is not independent media. Independent media is hosting on your own platform, not something that someone else owns. Sure, YouTube or X or whoever may pay a creator a lot of money, and they do that to give this illusion that guess what, you're going to make that money too. But the truth is you're just entering a new slave system. They're using the hero or the illusion of a hero to get people to line up, to fall in there, to get stuck, supporting, liking, and watching all their stuff. Oh, what are they going to say this time? I'm waiting to be inspired enough to get off the couch to actually go do something. It used to bug me to death when I would do my broadcast when I first started out. I would have the same people in my broadcast every time. And then the audience was growing, but it was the same people every time. And it bothered me. I know that sounds insane, but the messages I were delivering was to take action, to go live your life, quit staring at your phone and go live your life. You don't need to soak in everything that I'm saying and like be here every day. Like I appreciate it. It helps me. It feeds my ego, but it's not helping you at all. I may give you an inspiring message, but what good is that inspiring message if you don't go out and do it? If you don't take action, you don't do it yourself. And so independent media is like with this, say with Tucker Carlson split off from Fox. People thought that was independent media. Absolutely not. But it is a good example that shows Tucker doesn't need Fox to be successful. He can start his own media company. He's got the mailing list. He's got the data. He's got all the things to immediately become successful overnight, raise billions of dollars for his media organization or hundreds of millions of dollars. That's a blessing, but that's not independent media. Independent media is doing it very, very similar to what Master P did in the music industry. And I don't have time to go into that story, but hopefully I'll find that picture of me being a backup dancer and for the next presentation. Quite entertaining, but if you want to have some fun, learn how Master P, like learn how he built his empire. The same thing with Nipsey Hussle, their philosophy and the way they approach the music industry is the way that we should approach media and the way we see content. Anyway, that's another deep dive. Digital platforms like YouTube, Netflix, and TikTok blur the lines between producers and consumers, enabling users to create, share, and monetize content. Those are dominant platforms, but E360 TV is a great platform. There's so many platforms out there that allow you to do all these things, but honestly, you can do it from your own platform and keep your money. I mean, I would rather be paid for what I'm worth than have to give 90% of it to my master. And yeah, they have a bunch of amazing tools and features and blah, 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 but there's platforms that have all the same features that allow you to host and own your content too. All right, since we're not getting, well, you seem to be talkative today. Let's discuss. Let's discuss your media consumption habits and opinions on the influence of digital platforms on traditional media. What do you think the future holds for media power dynamics? Anyone?
I will go. Do you like my voice so much? I mean, I'm only on LinkedIn. I have all the other ones, but I'm only on LinkedIn and I use LinkedIn for a purpose. I don't let it use me. So I try to keep my times minimal unless I am networking and engaging in meaningful conversation with other people who are doing the same thing. So that's where I go and it works great. And I do use AI to contribute to the messages that I put on LinkedIn. And I think in doing so, LinkedIn kind of like gives me a little boost from that because I think they like it when I use them. So it's more of a partnership than it is an ownership by anyone. So I think that's how I balance and make it a good thing in my life.
It has proven to be good for you.
Yeah.
Of course, I lecture you all the time
All
about
the time.
she's wasting her brilliant posts and they should turn into books, but that's just me. She's also, so that's another thing too. It actually brings up a point that's not on here that I'm sure we'll get into at some point in the next weeks, but people talk about time and how much time they have. The one thing about AI that's challenging in these new technological advances is that things can happen so much quicker. It disrupts time management. The way that I manage time, because what used to take 3 hours is done in 5 minutes. And so it's like, I don't even know how to structure my day. I mean, I have a hard time even getting dressed by myself in the morning. Trying to manage the hours of my day gets kind of weird sometimes. And because I have so much extra time. And so I mean, that has become and I'm still trying to figure out how that works because it's so easy in that spare time. Because I thought I'd scheduled me to do this activity for 2 hours, but I'm done in 30 minutes or 5 minutes. And it's like, well, crap. So now I guess I could sit here and then it comes the temptation of, am I going to get caught up in watching YouTube shorts for the next 4 hours? Like, I'm just mindlessly zombie scrolling. Or am I going to watch inspirational videos? Am I going to read a book? Am I going to go out and garden? Like I literally have to put my stuff in front of my face because that free time that pops up, like I almost don't know what to do with it. So I'm having to learn new disciplines that I didn't think I would ever have to learn. But for me, one of the things that I discovered was not only do I not want to put my content on social media, I don't want to be there. I want to do everything I can to have real relationships, as complicated as they are for me. That's what I would prefer to have. And if I want to go play in the digital world, well, guess what? I've got in my website, I've got 2 virtual worlds to go into and hang out and meet people from around the world. And, it's changed. So anyway, don't really have a closing thought on that. The slides you chose are so funny.
Yeah, you got some good
I
stuff.
had.
Oh, it's keeping still going. Ooh, that's fun. That's not a flat earth
Where'd you
though.
find
Just
all
kidding.
these?
I used Canva, I think, yeah. And I started with, I tried Beautiful AI for a minute, but I've used Canva for several years now, and it's so user friendly, and it just always produces. So
Oh,
That's cool.
okay.
I'll show you anytime.
Okay, this is actually for all of you all to do if you want to do it. And here's the thing, I guess I should start charging for my services so I could start saying this, but I'll offer you free consulting calls if you decide to take on this project. Here's the deal. This is like a homework assignment if you want to do it, but you can get a leg up. And if you decide that you want to take this assignment on, you will be prepared for the next week and you will be able to start seeing progress way faster. Way faster. If you do not have the money, I've made my book available at libraries for free. So they can access it for free anywhere in the world. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm not trying to sell my book. It is for sale, but it's also available for free. And it is a manual. This is so much information. You have to understand, I've been studying it for a lifetime. I've been applying it to my life every day, all day for, 8 years now, building this. And so it's a lot. And I can overwhelm people with information, and I don't want to do that. So I'm grateful. I rewrote it to try to simplify this. But I'm grateful for the PowerPoint because it's made it easier to follow. So I hope it's been beneficial for other people. But the whole idea of this is what we're going to be teaching is how you can benefit from the fourth industrial revolution and what it offers. And I know you probably never thought about starting a media company before. Really cool packaging.
I know, I thought you would like it.
It's very busy, but I like it. Anyway, okay. So, but really you could call it entrepreneurship. You could call it independent media, whatever word and it may not even be the word for it in a couple of years, to be honest. But ultimately, to thrive in the fourth industrial revolution, you will need to become a media organization, and you can do it with your existing business.
And Josh, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
Just for a moment, given the time, we should also allow some time for some.
Oh,
Q&A.
Okay, let me breeze through this real quick and then I'll shut up. Okay, well, you can read the screen. So here's what you need to do. Break out your pen. I'm going to give you my email address because I want you to submit this to me. I'm going to help you craft your perfect plan for your existing company. Or if you have an idea for what you want to do, I will help you build this. So here's your homework. You do this, follow these steps. My book is going to be a great guide for you, but again, you can do it the hard way if you want. Submit this to me. My email is Joshua, T as in Tyler, Berglan.com, and my last name is Berglan, which I think is probably on the promotion that got you here in the first place. But I'm going to help you. So I recommend doing this for your own business, your own ideas. Think about your gifts, talents, and intellectual property. And you can submit this to me. And before we meet for class 2, and if you've not registered, register. But before we meet for class 2, you will have a custom plan for you to help get you started, and you will have a leg up for the next course. Okay, questions?
And first question was, wanted to get that typed in
Oh,
so that
can I see it?
anybody that wants to do it that way can see that. I got it. And,
Kelly Howell, amen.
yeah, Kelly has a couple of comments. Jose Cano, his point was, with this technology, every day that passes and nothing is done, a massive crime is being committed to society. The future of society with the lack of updating in the education system.
Jose, go to my website, contact me, and I'm going to show you just how respectfully wrong, wrong is not the right word. No, I have good news for you. Well, first of all, the lovely lady that's sitting right here right now is playing a massive role in the future of education. A lot of this presentation I've talked about is what's being done with education and AI in China. So there is solution after solution. You're talking about the crime being committed, the lack of updating the education system. You know what? No, one thing I will agree on you with is America is way behind. So far behind, it's offensive. It's offensive to me. It's like the information has been hidden on purpose. I'm not saying it is, because it's been in front of everyone's face. But the problem is here's the thing. In America, when people watch the news, they are so misinformed, it's sad, because the only information they have is a soundbite that big. They don't have the whole information. So they hear something from the World Economic Forum. They hear something from the United Nations. They hear it, but they hear it in a soundbite. They hear the soundbites of a news conference from the president. They don't see the whole thing, so they don't have context. No one, how many people that are here today watched Event 201? I'm willing to bet someone $5 because I don't have all, I don't want to, I like try not to gamble, but like who watched Event 201? Did you see clips or did you watch the whole thing? Because if you watch the whole thing, you would be prepared for today. You would be prepared. If you read the book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, written by Klaus Schwab, when you read it when it came out, none of what is happening would be a surprise. The same way with the Great Reset. So the future of education is going to be disruptive. But in America, we're trained and the media is so powerful here. Maybe it's Mockingbird, I don't know. But anyway, our media is so powerful here that we have been conditioned for sound bites and not actually and disinformation. So we don't really know what the truth is. But the fact is, if we quit watching the news programming and actually look at the press conferences, not the press conferences, but the events, when they play them live on YouTube or the replay, you can watch and you can listen what the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, when you listen to what they say, then you'll be informed because they're telling you what their plans are. So Jose, America is grossly behind. Why I'm giving away what I'm giving away for free is because We're so far behind. And I'm American. I consider
was
myself a
talking
global citizen, huh?
Also, he was talking America.
Oh, what? Okay, good. Then we agree, and there is a crime being committed, and it's got to stop. And I believe, but here's the thing: you don't have to be ignorant for long. The education is there for you. I've given you the resources. The information's there. I'm happy to work with you one-on-one as groups. I'm here to help because this information is important. But what you're talking about with education is absolutely true. That is why in America, we're going to see a homeschool revival, and it's going to be awesome because everything's going to change. And the other thing too that's going to happen a lot, and this excites me, is that instead of mommy and daddy going to work, or mom going to work, or dad going to work, families are going to be able to rise up together. Families are going to create together. They're going to collaborate together because kids are going to see what their parents are doing and how they're changing. And guess what? The kids are going to want to do it too. And you know what is awesome? When you don't have to tell your kid to shut up because you're in a meeting. Hey, I'm busy. I'm trying to make a sale. Go away. You don't have to do it anymore. Our kids hop in our meetings all the time. I mean, some of the stuff is a little advanced for them, but here's what's happened. They've taken an interest in what we're creating. Now they create for themselves. And it's so inspiring. And there's no reason your kids shouldn't be taking advantage of this too. Heck, it's not child labor when they're just creating. You're not forcing them into work. You're teaching them how to use their skills to make a living. If a kid can make a TikTok video, then dadgummit, they can host a podcast. They can create video series. They can write books. They can do all of that. They don't have to be 18 years old anymore. They can start when they're 12. They can start when they're 13, whenever you as a parent decide, but don't be pimping out your kids. Anyway, what?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Well, a couple of comments that came in. One, a question from May. May 2 was, do you think that 4IR can create a robotic kitchen which can cook food for us at home one day?
Yeah, they have that. China just released they're so far ahead. They just released the robot. I just saw a video of it. In fact, the conference with is it Brokenfield? Dr. Martha.
Oh,
From
yeah,
the-
Bokenfeld,
yeah, she's got Marthaverse. I went to an event there. It is absolutely amazing. But she showed actually the kitchen, the kitchen robot. It was amazing. Did everything, clean, cut, cooked, baked, everything.
Can I just
Yeah.
add to what you're talking about before with how we're conditioned for short sound bites? I think has a lot to do with the fact that we don't have time for anything because we're in this we're forced to work for somebody else, so our time is limited. So with the new technologies, we will be able to have more time to learn about what we want to learn about, news, things like that. But also, our children are going to watch us because the children are what they see.
Yeah.
So by leading by example and following our passions and taking the time to learn new things and continuously improve our mental health, we're passing that along to our children. So.
Mm-hmm. You're right. And instead of using a search engine, you're better. I mean, this is may sound wild, but I've started doing this and I'm finding a way better experience. Instead of doing a search, I just ask the question directly into a chatbot like ChatGPT, or I like not not Elon Musk's. What's it? Grok. There's Gronk and Grok. Grok is great, but you can ask it as questions, and you just ask direct questions, and it'll give you the information. So, like, if you're wondering if you have a specific issue that you're struggling with, right? And if it's a combination of inflammation and heartburn, and like, okay, what is the perfect health remedy? What's the perfect diet? What is the perfect food for me to eat to alleviate this problem? And it'll literally create in seconds the plan that you need to follow. You can go research it yourself. So you can learn that way. How do you, Python, I'm learning Python now. Because really to take the next step with AI, you need to learn Python, and that may even change soon too. But I'm gonna learn that next. That just changes the way that we're just learning differently now, but we can get the information quicker, faster, and honestly, I think it's even more concise and better information than going through search engines, because when you go through search engines, you're going through opinions. And AI will, especially if you ask to give you the research and the statistical scholarly proof, it'll provide that for you. That way, when you decide that you want to speak about something, you don't sound like a moron, you sound educated. And you're not giving opinions, you're providing fact. Let's see. Okay, is that it? Is there any more questions? Anyone has?
Fun session.
Yeah, thanks, good
Yeah.
job.
Well, thank you guys for watching. The next few weeks are really fun, and I hope you take advantage of it. I hope you take advantage of these questions, because it's like I'm sincere about helping you. There's no hidden agenda at all. And I'm here to serve, I'm here to help. And I sincerely want to see the light bulb go off for you, because it's so freeing. It's wonderful. It's a hard work, yes, but I would rather work hard and give my all to someone who's going to appreciate it, like myself, like my spirit, than go work and bust my butt for someone else who's going to, if I work too hard, they're going to think I'm trying to take their job. But if I don't
Hey,
work hard
Josh, do you
enough,
hear
I'm going
me?
to get fired. It's like, it's not Mallrats. What was the movie where the guy like just quits trying at work and he gets a promotion? Office Space. It's like an Office Space situation. Like, no, we're done with that. We can connect on LinkedIn for sure. Absolutely. My name is Joshua T. Berglund. Okay, so take a picture of this. The next section, media company in a box. I may cry when I teach it because I'm very emotional about it, but I have enough people that I've been able to work with around the world teaching this method. I know it works. I will teach you secrets of how to do things that you may think are impossible. I will show you ways to get your projects exposed in ways that you probably never thought of. And most of it will not cost you any money. But if you are a creator now, this is just something I'm going to say now, and you may hear me say it later. But if you are a creator now and you have content, you have a podcast, you do a broadcast, you do a live stream, you've acted in commercials, you've been in a film, any of that stuff, go create an IMDb profile. You can create one for free, or you can do a paid version. I don't recommend doing a paid version unless if you already have established content. But if you're intending to become a content creator, or you've done any acting or anything like that, I want to encourage you to create this profile. One, it's going to matter for your intellectual property. Two, it's like a resume of all that you create. But over the next year, IMDb is going to prove to be one of the most important sites for creators. So do that. Thank you all. It means a lot to me that you were here, especially the online audience that hung on the whole time, like no one left. Wow. Thank you all. You can, the only social media platform I'm on is LinkedIn, but I'm not real active. But you can contact me there. You can contact me directly on my website. And if you want to chat, happy to chat, happy to work with you. I'll send you my calendar link. We'll work around your schedule. And thank you for being here. But please take this away. Now is the time to go for your dreams. Absolutely. And if you're somebody that says, I don't have the money, I'm too disabled, I'm too mentally ill, I'm too messed up in the head, whatever, I got news for you. The next course, I'm going to prove you wrong. So this gets to be exciting. Love to you all. Thank you so much.